Hi, guys. I'm Phil Town from Rule One Investing, and today I'm here with Brian Tracy, who's a very old friend of mine. We've been buddies for a long, long time. We share a common background, have been on stage together many, many different times. Brian is one of the best speakers in the world, absolutely, and also happens to be, I think, the world's expert on goal setting. He's got the #1 book on goal setting ever written, and we're here today to talk about that.
Wonderful.
How do you set that kind of SMART goal? Not just goals, but SMART goals with investing in mind. What would you say, Brian?
Well, what I discovered when I was in my early 20s was that the key to success, and Lloyd Conant, who founded Nightingale Conant, said that success is goals and all else is commentary. All the stuff in the world works if you have really clear, focused goals, and none of it works without a goal. It's almost like a goal is the linchpin that holds things, or the axle in a wheel. And so I began to study goals, and I found it was the major reason why people became rich, is they studied goals and they made goals to become financially independent. And then they carried out their goals step by step.
Well, I got a question for you. I was working really closely with Jonas Salk years ago when I first got started.
Yes.
Dr. Salk was here in San Diego. And he had a view that said that imagine going up to a woman that you're in love with and you want to marry her and you say, darling, I love you. We've been together for a year. I want to marry you. And if you'll agree to be my wife, it's my goal to never sleep with another woman the rest of my life.
That's your
Dr.
goal,
Salk was like, and there are some times when you need a promise to break through rather than a goal. What would you say is the difference between those? A goal, or are you meaning a goal in the sense of it's a promise, I'm not going to break it, it's going to happen?
Well, a promise, I think, in your example, is really different from a goal. A goal is something that you personally want to achieve. And the only way you can achieve it is by overcoming obstacles. If there are no obstacles, we say it's just an activity, it's not a goal. And so in your example, you would never have that as a goal. You'd have that as a promise.
Right.
A goal is something, for example, like becoming financially independent. And one of the things that I have found, because I started off poor, as you did, and worked hard at laboring jobs on the way up and other jobs, well, one day we made a decision that, by gum, I'm going to become wealthy. And that changed your whole life. I call it a turning point. A turning point in your life is always a decision, where you make a decision that you're going to do something different and you're going to accomplish something different. And after that, you're never the same again. And that's what you do, is you take people who have made the decision, I'm going to become wealthy. Now, what do I need to do to get from where I am to achieve that goal? What are the obstacles that I have to overcome? What is holding me back? One of the things we teach is what sets the speed at which I achieve financial independence. What is the constraint or limiting factor that holds me back? Is it the amount of money that I'm earning that I can invest? Is the amount of money that I'm investing? Is it the people that I'm investing with and through? What is setting the speed at which I can achieve my universal goal of financial independence? And that's what we'll talk about today.
Okay, because when I first started, I was actually here in San Diego, and I said, okay, I will make $1 million in the next 5 years. I wrote it down on a little card, and I signed it. Said, I promise I will make $1 million in the next 5 years. And I knew the path because I'd been training in it for a year. Right? I knew the general path, so I knew it was doable.
Yes.
Now, I just thought I don't know for sure I can do it, but I'm going to do it or
That's
die.
my goal. That's my goal. And remember, when you set a goal, we'll talk about it. When you set a goal, you have to have a specific deadline. I will achieve this goal, or I achieve this goal by this date. Now, sometimes you will achieve the goal before the date, sometimes after the date. But you have to have a target to aim at.
Well, I aimed at 5 years, and I put the date down.
Yes.
And I got liquid 1.45 million, almost to the month.
Yes.
It made me wish I'd put the date 2 years earlier. So maybe there's something to be said for the
what
date
you did
draws it to you or something.
You overshot your goal. That's great. And sometimes this situation can be right. Sometimes the market, the economy, everything can be right. Many people will set a financial independence goal, and the economy will go to hell, and they'll have to just reset the goal. That's all. And what happened with you is because you had done the preparation, and preparation is everything. And because you worked with the right people, and you followed the right advice, and you did it consistently.
Yep.
Consistency in financial investing is so important. You just don't do it a little bit and then do something else. You have to develop a plan, and you do it consistently, a workout plan to become fit and trim and so on. And that's what you did. As you followed your plan, which you had, and you applied the information which you knew, and you just did it consistently over and over again. And as a result, and in combination with a good economy, you overshot your goal.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that kept me with my nose to the grindstone was that I had seen that for the previous, I guess at the time, 40, almost 50 years, people like me had become successful following this path.
Yes.
You know, one defined by Ben Graham and then Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger and these guys.
Yes.
Like, I knew that if I could just keep doing what they did, even if I had some failures along the way, I would ultimately get there.
Yes.
So for somebody who's just starting out, how do you structure the goal properly so that it carries you through this process?
Okay, well, you have to have what we call SMART goals. And SMART is S-M-A-R-T. And what the words stand for is, first of all, it has to be specific. It has to be clear. And so therefore, the goal has to be simple and clear. It can't be 25 or 30 words. It's, I achieve this financial goal by this date. You have to have three parts. It starts off with the word I, which tells your subconscious mind that an order is coming down from the head office. Whenever you say I, your subconscious mind comes alert. The whole computer goes on. And then you say earn. You have to have an action verb. I earn, I achieve, I save, I accomplish, I invest, whatever it is. So now the subconscious mind knows what the action plan is. And then third is you have to have a date. What we call the date final is where you are or when you're going to achieve the goal. Now, does it mean that everything will work out well? The part that's up for grabs is the date. And as we said before, sometimes you'll hit it on the date, sometimes before, sometimes later. Here's a great rule, is that there are no unreasonable goals, only unreasonable deadlines. And so therefore, I've had people come to me all the time, I want to be a millionaire in 1 year. I've had people come to me after my seminar, personal development seminars, say, I want to be a billionaire in a year. I say, well, what sort of work do you do? Well, I'm unemployed. I say, well, how much money do you have saved? Well, I'm deeply in debt. So you don't have any source of income and you're deeply in debt and you want to be a billionaire in a year. I say, how about being a thousandaire in a year? You have to walk before you run, and sometimes you have to crawl before you walk.
Right.
And they walk away. Well, you said I could be and do anything I wanted. Well, within reason. You cannot be ridiculous. And so you'll find that people who become wealthy inadvertently. They work really hard. They do their job well. They get paid well, and they hold on to the money. It must be achievable. It has to be something that, with your resources and your time and your energy and skills and ability, you can achieve. If you set goals that are beyond your capability at the time, they don't motivate you, they demotivate you.
I've always thought that.
Yes,
I've always thought that.
It's true. And when I learned that, I wanted to double my income in 30 days. And I wrote it as a goal over and over. And my income didn't move at all. It didn't budge. And what I found was your subconscious mind cannot believe a ridiculous goal. So I pulled it back and I said I wanted to double my income over the next year. And I doubled it within 6 months. Then you double it again in 6 months. Then you double it again. And that's bite-sized goals.
So on this point, I wanted to drive a race car, a Porsche, as fast as my brother.
That's a big goal.
I didn't think it was that big a goal. I just thought I could do it, right? But I didn't have any experience with it at all. And he was racing Porsches and doing really well. And so we went out on the track in his car, and he was doing like 2 minutes around this track. And I tried to do 2 minutes. I scared myself so bad. I didn't want to get back in the car.
Oh, wow.
Right? So when your goal is too big,
Yes.
then not only will you fail to achieve it, but you might stop trying a goal you could have achieved.
It'll demotivate you.
Yeah, demotivate. It demotivated me quite a lot.
One of the things we realize is that belief is, if you absolutely believe that it is possible, you will achieve it, because you will not stop. And of course, we talk about consistency, and we talk about dependability, and we talk about especially persistence. But if you believe that it's possible, you will find a way to achieve it. You will learn what you need to learn. You'll save the amounts. I have a good friend who is a good guy, makes a good living, and married a woman, good woman, and they agreed that from now on they were going to live on one salary. She would work and earn money, and he would work and earn money, and they would only spend his salary, and her salary they would save and invest. And they did. And they retired as millionaires a few years later. And I've met people like that who had the same formula.
That's great.
He works, she saves.
That's
and they never moved out. They're in the same house 20 years later. They didn't get an expensive house or expensive cars or anything else. The goal was to be a millionaire and have $1 million working, and they did not spend anything until they had that.
And that's hard. I mean, as I was starting to do well, there's a lot of things you can spend money on.
Yes.
But there's that's the money that's going to really, really make a lot of money in the future, and you just spend it on a new refrigerator, a better car, whatever, a bigger house, right? And there it goes, it's gone. And now you're starting all over again.
Yes.
Right. So hold on to it, right?
And then R is relevant. It must be something that you want and that you care about. You can't want a goal for someone else. This is a big mistake that people make. I want my son to do this or be that, and he doesn't want it. Or I want someone else in my family or my circle of friends to achieve this goal or be this person or lose this weight. You cannot set goals for other people. Mm-hmm. You can only set goals that are relevant to you, and these are goals that turn you on. They get you wired. They drive you because it's meaningful to you to achieve the goal, and it helps you overcome obstacles, because if it's important enough, as you know, Nietzsche said, if a person has a big enough why, they can endure any what. And Simon Sinek did the famous TED Talk. It's been watched by millions, and it was Start With Why. That was the name of his talk, and it's been watched by millions of people. In other words, if you have a big enough why, you can endure
really like that.
Any what. And then the last, of course, is time-bounded. It's got to have a date. It's got to have a finish date or a final date that you can aim at. And sometimes you'll overshoot, and sometimes you'll undershoot. One of my favorite moves is American Sniper. And an American Sniper, on both sides, you'll find that the sniper will pick the target, and just like shooting mortars, they shoot a little bit beyond and a little bit before, and then shoot right down the chute. And so this is the same thing in becoming wealthy. You try something that is too much, you try something that's too little, and because of that experience, you know what to do to hit right on the mark.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I was just reading a book that's coming out soon by the guy that built Square. Right, the little device that goes in the iPhone plug.
Right.
And the book is called Innovation, and it's about this process of going from one step to the next, right? One goal after the next goal after the next goal, that he says is driven by, I need to.
Yes.
So I did this, and now, here's where I want to be. I did this, and now I need to do this in order to keep this going. And each one of these steps is a problem and a solution and a problem and a solution. It's brilliant, I thought. Oh man, you are the absolute expert. I mean, I've never met anybody that's better at this process of goals, problems, and solutions than you are. And I can just really encourage everybody that if you get a chance to be involved in any way with Brian Tracy, you've got to take the opportunity. If Brian's going to be speaking, go see him. He's got books out there. Go get them. Get the books on goal setting. Best book in the world. And Brian, thank you very much for being here, man.
Hey.
You're incredible.
Hey,
so
this is
honestly, this kind of thing is a foundation of being a great investor, of being a successful investor. And if you don't get there without that, and of the things you taught me here today, I love the one the most of get the why right. Get that right, because that will drive you through the rest of the process. And if you're not sure what the why is, have a kid and you'll have your own why real fast.
That's right.
So Brian, thank you very much for being here.
Hey.
It's awesome. Great to see you.
Great pleasure. Thank you, Phil.
You bet. Well, you guys, if you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you more about setting smart investing goals, hit the like button and please share this video with your friends. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. And thanks again for watching.